All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back today with another episode of the SirLinksalot podcast, and we are joined today by the man, the myth, the legend, Julian Goldie. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, especially after that intro.
Hey, man, and Julian actually requested this introduction. If you guys don't believe me, I've got the receipts to back it up. So yeah, and then
Got all
we're
the
also
screenshots.
yeah, I got the screenshots. And then Nick, how you doing today, sir?
Doing good, can't complain. Pretty excited about this podcast. I think Julian's got some of the most actionable stuff on YouTube right now, so it should be good for our viewership.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Julian, he's got a YouTube channel with I think over 30,000 subscribers where he talks about SEO and AI. And yeah, he puts out almost daily videos. I'm actually a viewer of his videos as well. He's got a link building agency over at juliangoldie.com as well as an SEO course. So naturally, we are mortal enemies over here at sirlinksalot.co. And he also runs an SEO mastermind and weekly coaching program to help people get more sales with SEO and YouTube too, I believe. Is that about right? Did I miss anything there?
That was perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, so at this point in the podcast, we normally go into kind of the background and just let people know a little bit more about you. But we're going to skip all of that today because the podcast is going to be a little bit short and we're going to get straight into what most of the people probably actually care about, which is the kind of cool stuff you've been doing with AI and SEO and kind of printing these AI websites. So I guess to start things off, how many of these AI kind of project sites do you have running right now?
So right now we have 8 public case studies using AI.
8, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually more than I thought. I thought it was like more like 4 or 5. And how many of those are English versus foreign language?
So 6 of them are English, and one is Spanish, one is German.
Gotcha. And I mean, so I'm assuming you're just doing the foreign ones just because it's kind of lower competition, easier to rank, and because, ChatGPT and everything, you can just translate easily.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think previously getting into foreign SEO would be tricky with writers. I know a lot of SEO still do it, but with ChatGPT doing most of the translation, it's just easier than ever to do and lower competition.
Awesome. Versus like how the sites are doing, are you seeing like better performance out of the foreign sites or the English sites, or what's it look like?
I think in terms of growth from a brand new domain or just starting from scratch with AI content, we're getting better traction with the foreign websites for sure. Yeah, they're just ranking faster. And for example, if you look at the German website, we just smashed like 1,000 articles from day one.
hmm
Got
That's
it indexed.
Vogel Wonderland, right?
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
and only Fogle Thunderland. And I mean, it's fun because I don't speak the language. I didn't pay attention at school when I was learning German. We did it for 2 years at school, but it's fun to see it. Okay, how easy is it to rank in those languages, and can you get away with a lot more in German and Spanish languages versus other markets? And I think you can. I think it's just a much easier game, not just in terms of the competition, but also in terms of the algorithm.
So
Gotcha.
without speaking the language, I mean, how do you go about deciding, okay, I'm going to try and break into German language or Spanish language and find keywords that are executable for, the type of project I'm doing. How do you go about doing that if I don't know if I'm not thinking in Spanish, then I'm probably not going to be building a Spanish-based website.
Yeah, so what I would do is start with the main keyword. So, for example, like Vogelfunderland, the main keyword really is Vogel, which is bird.
Okay.
So I would start with that parent topic and then give ChatGPT a prompt to basically give me a bunch of ideas around that. And from there, I can put each of those ideas into Ahrefs, Keyword Explorer. And I don't know if you want me to give you the actionable steps here, but I can if you want.
Well, so more so just so are you starting off with like an age domain that was maybe niche down to something and you're like, well, you know what, I've got this domain. I'm just gonna see what I can break into as far as easy keywords go.
I've actually seen better results from the brand new domains than from the
Okay.
old ones. Like we had a bunch of old ones that were just kind of stagnating and sailing along with human written content, and they haven't performed as well as the brand new domains. So I think because of the amount of content that you're producing, Google's crawl budget is much higher if you have a lot of content published from day one, because it's like the first time it's crawling that website. You guys probably know that better than me, but from what I've seen with the old websites, we have indexing problems, we have difficulty getting traction. Just seems like if you start from scratch, clean slate, and then publish your content, you get fast results. Yeah.
Very interesting. Can you give us some idea of some of the kind of like traffic or revenue numbers you're earning with some of these sites?
Yeah, I mean, they're not earning massive numbers, honestly, but for example, if you look at chipperbirds.com, that's probably the main case study from all the websites that we have. It makes about like $35 to $40 a day with ads, and then it will make between, I mean, with Amazon affiliate, it's very unpredictable, but I would say between like $20 to $40 a day on that as well. So it's not bad revenue, and obviously, if you sold that, it would be, I don't know if you can sell AI sites, but if you did, the multiple would be pretty good on that. And also, I would say my weak point is actually monetization. I think I'm good at getting the traffic. I find it easy to build the backlinks, but to actually
You're an
monetize,
SEO.
yeah, exactly. I'm an SEO, not a monetizer, not a CRO. Yeah.
Yeah, common problem with all of us, I think. So yeah, how much work do you actually put into these sites? I've watched a good amount of your videos. I know I kind of understand. You're going and you're finding these low competition keywords. Using a lot of like Ahrefs or these other tactics or whatever. And then you're using a content writer to really just pump out like 500, 1,000 articles, whatever, and you're just kind of throwing them up on the site. So like, how much time per website do you think you've actually put in? Like, are you literally just like throwing up the content, putting it up there and building some backlinks, or like how are you doing anything else, or just what's the time investment per site look like right now?
Yeah, so for each site as well, we try to publish between, I would say, 5 and 15 articles a day. And we have a bunch of VAs that get paid fixed price for the amount of content they produce. So all the work that I personally do is pretty much in the videos. And then just to keep it running along and start growing the traffic as well, then we have a bunch of VAs in the background who get paid per piece of content they publish.
Gotcha. And where do you find your VAs? You do Upwork, or where are you finding them?
Yeah, I'm a big Upwork fan. I don't really use any other channels for hiring anymore, simply because I can go onto Upwork, I can see the reviews, and then I can hire really, really quickly.
Gotcha. So when you're talking about like, just let's try to simplify to like one website, like how many different people are executing some kind of task on this website, beyond your initial work of basically setting up all the articles and getting them scheduled? I guess you're doing it all through kind of this automation process.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say you've got about probably one VA per website. So they're creating all the content. And then for the link building, we have 3 people vet and approve them before they're built. So like one person will do a check and then the other person will audit it. And then we'll have a project manager who just checks all the links and makes sure they're not trash, basically.
Gotcha. So the team is actually quite minimal for each site. You're doing like the initial content planning kind of thing yourself, and then from there, you've got your link builders, and then I guess one other guy who might be acting kind of as like a WordPress kind of uploader type guy.
Yeah, exactly. For me, the less people, the better involved in the process. And we're always trying to reduce that because, as you all know from your own agency and your services, like when you have more people, you think throwing money or people at problems seems to solve it, but actually doesn't. And quite often it makes things slower, makes things more complicated. It brings a whole load of stress that you can't even predict. So for me, I want like the least people on the team as possible, but just really smart people who are driven and going to do the job.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a fan of kind of like bare bones stuff as well, very minimalistic. So you mentioned that people are kind of smarter or maybe kind of like go-getters or whatever. Are you paying a premium for this type of VA, or are you kind of paying like the kind of more like standard base rates for whatever countries you're getting them from?
Yeah, so for the actual one-click content creation, actually, they might be really smart, but they don't get paid a premium. Like, really, it's the orchestrator of the process. The project manager who oversees that. Really, really smart person. I've worked with her for years, and she's just very good at building systems. So she'll get paid a premium, but she'll work very few hours on that because she's very good at automating and designing processes quickly.
Gotcha. So one kind of head honcho, and then some people doing kind of more basic tasks.
Yeah, I would say like maybe one brain and 3 hands.
Cool.
Right on.
With respect to everyone involved.
I'm sure your team will be happy to hear this. So yeah, what does your current like AI content kind of tool stack look like? I know you're kind of messing around with a bunch of different tools, but like when you're actually if you had to say like your main kind of like process and tools that you use for doing the content on these sites, what would that look like?
It's a good question. So for me, like you say, I'm always experimenting with new tools or trying to build my own automations and tools doing this process. For quality, I would say Koala Writer is just the best. Seems to be the best quality that I've written, and it gets results when I've measured it as well.
Yeah, I've kind of the same experience with Koala. Seems pretty nice.
Yeah, I think everyone else is raving about it online as well, just because it's so proven. And you know what it's like. SEOs, we're very picky people, right? Like if there's a complaint to be made, we'll make it. So I think, yeah. So I think with Koala, if people are raving about it, it's definitely a good tool. On top of that, I really like Agility Writer. I think I sent you a sample of a blog created with Agility Writer. It's really good because it inserts. So you can insert internal links, but then also you can insert YouTube videos, images with Midjourney, which are pretty nice, and that content ranks as well. But if you want to publish, say, 500 or 1,000 articles at once, I've always used autoblogging, and I think that's the fastest way to do it, and it works really well with informational content.
Gotcha. I've used autoblogging a little bit, but I'm not super familiar with it. But autoblogging is more like a spinner, isn't it? Like you feed it like a URL to essentially copy to get all the information from, or how does that work? Does it come back with like all the same exact headings? I can't even remember. It's been a while since I've used it.
Yeah, so it's more like if you're creating content with bulk, you'll just paste in your keywords, and you can add a few manual tweaks as well, but it will basically create all the FAQ schema. It will post it directly to WordPress for you. You can combine that with auto scheduling plugins as well on WordPress, so that you're only publishing maybe 20 articles a day or 1 article every 60 minutes, etc. But that automation process works really well, and just from the results I've seen, probably, and I'm not affiliated with any of these tools, but autoblogging's probably got me the best results so far. Maybe just because I've spent more time on it.
Yeah, we actually got to meet Vaibhav in Saigon a few months ago in like March or so. It was before autoblogging really took off, and he was showing me the tool on his phone, showing me all I could do and stuff. And I was like, man, this is cool. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. But sorry, just to back up a little bit, were you saying you feed the keywords into autoblogging, or you feed like actual URLs for it to look at?
No, I just feed the keywords in. So
okay.
I think you can do like 100 at a time. I'll open up 10 tabs, just duplicate the tab, and then I'll have a spreadsheet with 1,000 keywords using that process we talked about before, where you go to Ahrefs, you find low keyword difficulty, you find those keywords where DR10s are ranking in the top 5, and then just paste them 100 into each tab and hit generate. It will take about 10 minutes, and everything's published to the website.
Just let it fly.
Also, yeah, and also it includes images too, so it's pretty nice.
Do you, I guess, autoblogging, do you connect Midjourney to it or what?
I don't think you do. I don't know how he generates the images, actually. I'd have to ask him. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I've actually, I tried out autoblogging a while back, but I've got it on my list to try more. I kind of found Koala and I was like, oh, it was definitely my favorite because I was way picky with the other ones. I won't mention the ones I wasn't really too happy with, but there were a few. But yeah, Koala, and yeah, I'll definitely want to give autoblogging another little try.
There's some as well that are just ridiculously cheap. I think, for example, Search Graph, it's like all you can create for $25 or something like that. And I've done test runs with that, and that ranks as well. But I think all of them rank.
So, question for you. So, autoblogging, you do not connect your OpenAI API to it, do you?
No.
But Koala, Koala, you don't either. Okay. I'm
I
thinking of some
think
of those. Sorry, go ahead.
this it might be Koala. It might be Koala where you actually plug in your own API if you want to, or you just use a
Okay,
default one. I can't remember. There's one tool like that where you can plug your API in.
gotcha. So actually, auto blogging is quite cheap when you factor in that it's you don't even plug in your API. Is it do you know if it's using, I think it uses kind of a mix of like ChatGPT 3.5 and 4, or do you have any idea about that?
Yeah, last time I checked, it was a mix of each of them. So I don't know how it combines them, but yeah.
Hmm.
Whereas if you're on Koala Writer, you can choose between
Yeah.
3.5 and 4, right? But 4 uses what, 5 times the credit, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Koala 4, GPT-4 ends up being like, $5 to like $8 an article, depending on length, versus, 3.5, I think it's like $1 an article, something like that. When you're using Koala, which one do you end up using? I'm going to go ahead and guess you're using 3.5 just for the sheer content size of the sites you're pumping out.
Yeah, and I've tried, I did an experiment last week where I would publish 15 articles a day,
Hmm.
and I would know whether they were 3.5 or whether they 4. And honestly, the 3.5 articles were the ones that ranked for me. Maybe it was just not statistically relevant, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's what.
That's interesting. I feel like for like certain tasks, I feel like 3.5 is actually better. And it's kind of like hit or miss. I can't say like anything in particular. But I really do feel like 3.5 is for some reason like actually better at certain things. I'm not sure about content, but it seems to do a pretty good job as well. And yeah, when I've used Koala, I've kind of done more the 3.5 as well, 'cause I just didn't see too big of a difference. You get like a little bit better like surfer scores with the 4, I guess. But at the end of the day, I'm not like a surfer score, like, I don't need to make sure it's like super high or whatever. Just kind of make sure it's talking about kind of the things you need to talk about and go from there. Um,
Some
but yeah,
people go crazy on that, don't they? On the Surfer SEO score or
yeah.
phrase, like it has to be 90 or 95, and it's like it doesn't.
Phrase is something I've seen you messing with, and I actually haven't played with it too much. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like a budget surfer. How would you compare the two as far as which one you're using more, or just how it performs?
So I got the lifetime deal on phrase.
Okay.
So it saved me a fortune. It was like $56, I think, a few years ago,
Wow.
and we've used it
Nice.
every month since. So, yeah, one
Buying
of
these
those things.
things is kind of like stocks, right? Because you don't know like which one is going to end up like being like really good, or like which one they're going to like keep like developing for or whatever, and like you just like end up getting this one like really good deal, and it's just something you end up using like for a really long time. I'm definitely not like a big tool guy, so I just miss everything.
Same with Koala, right? It was on AppSumo with a lifetime deal before.
Yeah.
Wow.
So some people got an outrageous deal on that.
But I guess you'd have to lifetime deal, but you have to plug your API in, or else it just wouldn't really make sense, right?
That's interesting. I don't know actually. Yeah.
Or you're just getting like free content for life,
Well, like
which would be sick.
have you seen? There's a deal on Neuron Writer as well, which is kind of similar, right? You get the SEO score, and then you can create content with it as well. And
Uh-huh.
with that, you get free credits. And the same with Phrase. Phrase generates content for you if you wanted to.
Wow, okay. I'll have to check out more of this stuff. I'm not as big of a tool guy as you for sure. You seems like you're always kind of messing with some new tool. So what are your like all-time like as far as like AI tools right now go? Like what tools do you think like add the most to your bottom line? Which are like the all-stars that you're just coming back to like repeatedly to use?
For SEO or just in general?
Um, I guess a little bit of both, because I mean you're mainly doing SEO stuff, so yeah, we can just do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I would say obviously ChatGPT 4 is by far like the Swiss Army knife of everything because
Yeah.
even for YouTube, it's like, right, here's video. Yeah, I'll give it a script and then it will give me a description, title. It will give me some ideas on what to include in the thumbnail, etc. It's just amazing. Even for counting my calories each day. If I'm trying to
Yeah.
lose weight, plug in my calories in there. Bing bang bosh, we're off to the races.
Bing bang bosh, the Julian Goldie tagline, I guess.
I had to throw
Um,
it in there.
what's that?
I had to throw it in there. Had to be done.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of just straight up chat GPT as well. It's definitely my most used by far. What else you got?
So for video editing, actually, I use Descript pretty much every single day. So I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
I'm
basically,
not.
well, you can upload your video into Descript.
Hmm.
It will turn your whole script into, it will turn your whole video that you've already recorded into a transcript automatically. And then you can apply like studio sound, you can cut out all the gaps automatically. Any filler words like ums and ers, you can remove automatically. And that process previously required an editor. And normally what would happen is the editor creates something, you go back with him, you don't really like what he's done, so then he has to go back, and maybe you get your video edited and approved by 7 days or something like that. With Descript, you upload your video straight in there and you can publish it same day. I mean, that's how I get so many videos out.
Okay, so you're actually using Descript for your main YouTube channel. I've seen you use it a couple times. Actually, I saw it like briefly in your videos, and I added it to a list to check out at some point. But I guess I didn't really understand what it was doing. So I'm assuming you have like a VA, or you're paying someone to actually use Descript for you, and they're just making it faster, or are you actually going in and using Descript yourself to put the videos out?
I actually do it myself, sadly. And I know as a CEO of like, a 50-person company and running our own coaching program and stuff like that, I should probably not be doing it, but it's like, because I'm optimizing for speed.
Hmm.
Do I want to manage an editor and then go back and forth with them every single day and then they're going to slow me down? Or is it like, right, I'll spend 20 minutes a day, I'll edit the video, it'll be perfect in the way that I want it, and I'll get really good views, which is what's happening in the minute.
So how long would you say it takes you to edit one of your videos using Descript? And like, what's like the starting video length, like with all the cuts and everything? And then, I guess your YouTube video is probably condensed down to 5, 10, 15 minutes or so. But like, how much editing time does that take from the start?
I would say about 20 minutes. And typically you might have like a 30-minute video. And by the time you've edited it and cut out all the crap, it's down to about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool
Sounds
stuff.
a lot like I've been messing with Pictory lately, trying to find something similar to that. So I'm definitely going to check out Descript, but it sounds pretty similar if you've used Pictory at all.
I haven't used it, but that'd be interesting to check out. I do wonder whether, I heard there's some other tools where you can do similar things, but the audio quality is much better. So I might not be using the right tool.
There's
I'm definitely
so many
gonna.
right now.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. I definitely want to check out Descript though. I'll definitely give that one a go. So yeah, we're just going to kind of fly along here since we're already running out of time. So how much do you use AI content like on, for example, your main website, juliangoldie.com?
Yes.
Okay. And how much editing do you do on that content versus one of your kind of like AI, I'm not going to say spam, but AI kind of like bulk sites?
Whoa.
Automated sites, automated.
So for juliangoldie.com, obviously it's my name, and therefore I care a lot more about the work. So I think honestly, even now I'm not happy with the articles that we have on there. And they'll probably go through more rounds of optimization and filtering and cutting. So there's a lot more time involved on that, simply because it's representing the agency and we want that content to convert as well, right? It's not, we're not monetizing with ads. So that's the thing. But yeah, with the rest of the sites, it's just like publish it. But they're doing better. I think those sites are doing better simply because SEO is such a hard niche. I think you guys are ranking really well. Like, you're doing a great job for your SEO for your website. But getting a lot of traffic in the SEO niche is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
it
so
can be a
you're
little bit
competing
harder.
Competition.
you're competing against the best SEOs. So.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely need to put more work on to SirLinksalot. We've neglected the site a little bit for a bit, but we're about to hopefully be starting a content push ourselves. So like when you're doing the AI content and the site you actually care about, do you have any idea of the amount of time it would take to edit an article to get it to the point where you actually are happy with it, to the point where you're saying, okay, I care about this piece of content. I think this is going to convert. I'm happy for it to represent my brand. Like, do you have any amount of time or maybe a percentage of content you need to edit to get it there?
I mean, I recommend like 15 to 30 minutes. If you're going to do this yourself and edit your content, do I spend 15 to 30 minutes editing the content on juliangoldie.com? No, but I would recommend that. Yeah.
I like your style.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've seen a bunch of, you're always saying the same kind of stuff on your videos. You're like, it's morally, you should probably like edit this stuff and fact check it. But it's a test, so we're gonna kind of skip that for the testing purposes. But yeah, really like that. So yeah, kind of like winding down a little bit. What do you think are some of the biggest lessons you've kind of taken away from all this AI content experimentation you've been doing?
I think number one, it actually ranks, and just myth busting a lot of crap that I saw on the internet and never really tested myself because I didn't have the time or the resources. But because I can move so fast with AI content generation, I can test things way quicker. And then, you know yourselves, SEO industry is full of myths and BS and people saying stuff when they've never really tested it. So for me, it was great to just be able to see, right, okay, if I build English backlinks to a foreign site, is it going to rank? Yes, it does.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, but you'll be surprised how many people are against that. The same, some people say ChatGPT does not rank, but they've never ranked a ChatGPT article in their life. They're just saying it because that's what they feel they should say to represent their brand. So all these things are very interesting. Yeah, just so much of that myth busting is fascinating. And testing it for yourself. All right, is this true or is this not true? I don't care either way, but let's find out.
So we've got, number one, you can't build English backlinks to foreign sites. Yeah, we definitely don't believe in that. We kind of advise people, you could even do like 10% of your like local language or TLD links to like 90% foreign, or like English links basically seems to work just fine. But definitely want to have some kind of local stuff in there as far as just being slightly natural. And then you said, of course, AI content can rank. Any other big myths you can think of off the top of your head that you've kind of dispelled or whatever?
You need citations to rank local content. It's just not true.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it probably helps a lot, but when we've ranked our agency website for local keywords, for example, like, I don't know, affordable SEO Edinburgh, something like that, building normal backlinks to that content helps it rank. In fact, I think sometimes we don't build any backlinks to that local content. It still ranks. And I don't think you need to do anything fancy, but unless you're trying to rank on Google Maps, but that's a whole different thing. But like, just for ranking local content, is it that much different than normal content? I don't think so. It's just, you follow the same process. All right, what's the search intent? Okay, what's the keyword, etc.
Even for maps, we were actually just talking about this on a stream the other day. We were saying that, because a lot of people that come in, they're like, well, how many citations should I buy? And it's like, man, like, you can buy as many as you want, but at the end of the day, like, Google's getting smarter, and like, how many times do they need to see the same citation on all these sites? Like, Google's not stupid. Like, just get like a handful of citations, and you're probably good to go. It's not like you just got to keep like pumping citations like it's some like magic recipe. So that's kind of a funny
That's
one.
interesting.
For sure.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's true.
So yeah, how long do you think this period of kind of relatively easy rankings, it is lower competition stuff, but this kind of period where I guess the market is not saturated yet with AI content. There's still a lot of low competition stuff where you can put out a brand new website, you can spin up 100 articles or whatever, or 500 or 1,000, put them out there. You can slowly build backlinks, and this thing's going to start getting rankings and traffic, and you're start actually making money off of it pretty quickly. Like, how long do you think this period is going to last before the situation becomes like flooded with AI content and this kind of low competition stuff? There's just tons of sites like this everywhere.
It's a good question. I think we've got a short window, maybe 6 to 12 months. I saw a statistic there that said only 14% of people have actually used ChatGPT, which is just absolutely crazy because I use it all day, every single day. So I'm so close to it that I can't imagine a world that isn't using ChatGPT anymore. But it's obviously the case. And if that's the case, then there's still a big window there for many things, not just automating content, but also for business, for speeding up processes, for automating a lot of things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sorry. We're right at the time limit. So
Oh yeah.
we're gonna let you go. Julian's got somewhere important to be, busy man, busy things, important stuff to do. What are your plans for the next year or so?
Uh, well, smash the YouTube content, keep that coming, keep testing lots of new sites. Be interesting to see how things develop with SGE, and I'm really paying close attention to that. And then I'll be speaking in the Philippines next month. I'll be speaking at DCBKK in
Oh, cool.
Bangkok, October. Yeah, and
Awesome.
potentially a few other things lined up next year.
Very cool,
Very
man.
cool.
And you'll be at Chiang Mai as well, right?
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Awesome.
We'll
Yeah,
see
we'll
you
have to
there.
grab a drink.
Yeah, see you there.
Anything else you want to plug, or where should people find you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube if you just look for Julian Goldie, or if you type in AI SEO, I'll probably pop up as well. But yeah, that's probably the best way to find my content and learn from it.
Awesome. JulianGoldie.com. Apparently he sells backlinks, but I think ours are, probably better. But you could buy some from his as well. Maybe they're all right. He's all right. But yeah, thanks for showing up, man. It's been awesome to talk to you. We're gonna have to have you on some other time. Maybe we have a little bit of a longer conversation, maybe in a couple of months when things have evolved a bit and we've got some new stuff to talk about. But yeah, thanks for coming out, man. It's been awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and happy ranking.